Hey guys, just a quick editor's note here. A couple of times you're gonna hear a like Discord muting sound effect. It goes away after a bit, but I just want to let you guys know it's not your computer. It is a editing issue, and yeah, just wanted to say that up top. And yeah, here's the pod. All right, everybody, back. Welcome back. We can say welcome back to Graham Jam.
Well, yeah, we can't say
Episode
welcome
3.
back.
I mean, we could have last episode, and we probably did, but I don't remember. This is Cram Jam episode 3. Today is the video game episode. I am Jack, also known as Peebus.
I am Chris, also known as Erikai.
Oh, I'm next.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's you.
Marcus.
Oh, man.
No,
Come
I'm
on.
Goon. I'm Goon. I swear that I'm Goon, and I'm also Marcus.
I'm Anthony, Lamb God.
Yeah, that's him.
Is that the rotation that we're doing now? So it's me. No, it's Jack.
It's
That's the rotation we've been doing the whole time.
it's in
I
order
don't
of the
remember.
Discord.
It's in the
Oh.
It's yeah. Remember, Marcus, we have all this in a big script, and we're reading this off now.
Yeah.
Even
Oh, this is the part where Anthony says a racist joke. Go ahead.
Go.
We're
So
just
this
gonna-
episode,
yeah, we're just gonna
yeah,
move
this
right on from
episode
that.
is the video game episode. We know very, very specific topic, but all of us here, I'm pretty confident in saying all of us here, except for one of us, I would consider to be truly gamers. One of us is becoming a gamer, but I'd say that Jack, you are a recently a recent gamer.
Here's the
you
thing.
are new to this.
Until you said my name, I wasn't sure if you
Mhm.
were talking about me or Marcus, because Marcus
Oh.
doesn't have a computer that can play games.
Well, you
But-
don't need to have a
you don't
PC
need
to
a PC.
play games.
But no, for basically my whole life, I've played probably the same 20 games over and over again.
Kirby 1, Kirby 2, Kirby 3.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, that's how they name Kirby games.
That, yeah, all 20 Kirby games, and they are all in that order.
Oh, yeah. What?
Except for
Superstar
Kirby and the
Ultra.
Crystal Shards. You hate that.
I hate Kirby and the Crystal Shards. The game sucks.
Like Kirby and the Crystal Shard. Am I right, guys?
Ooh.
God damn. This is
Do you
a
do
this is a
stand-up comedy?
rude episode.
Yeah, this is the mean episode. We're gonna just start being mean to video games.
Yeah, let's start with Anthony. What games do you hate?
Yeah. All right, that was great. Okay, Marcus, what would you say is your least favorite video game?
I have a really weird taste in video games. I like tedious type of video games where
Okay.
kind of like in a puzzle type of sense, like not really. Like Breath of the Wild is fun, but like some of the puzzles are really really fun, but some of them are so weird and difficult that I'm like, fuck, I hate that I have to look this up. But I don't know. This is a controversial opinion, but I do like RPG turn-based combat games where it's like level up, because I don't know, I feel like that's more productive in a game in terms of like personally than like anything I could ever do, because like
Yeah,
it's very
I'm gonna agree
clear.
with you on that.
Yeah,
Lots of games I dislike. I hate turn-based RPG games.
Mhm. And I also love those actually. Some of my favorite games throughout my childhood were all just turn-based RPG games.
I second the hatred for that.
Oh, well, look at that. We have 2 versus 2. Now, this seems like a
Yeah.
perfect setup for a little bit of a debate of turn-based RPGs. Are they good or are they bad? It's almost like this was planned or something. So, which it wasn't. It wasn't at all. Anthony, you and I have talked about this numerous times in the past. Would you like to share the reason that you dislike turn-based RPG kind of style?
Well, I think that they're just overdone. They're really wishy-washy. They're so similar in every single way. They've copy and pasted every single fucking Pokemon game. Like, there are Pokemon that are the same exact thing, and just with a different name.
No, there's an ice cream
No.
Pokemon, and then there's a hamburger Pokemon.
Not
There's
the
an
not the
No, that's
actual
Bugsnax. That's
Pokemon.
Bugsnax.
I really like some turn-based RPGs like Paper Mario. Those are fucking fun as hell because it's creative. It's a different story every single time. You're not doing the same exact thing.
The nice thing also with some of those Paper Marios is like the combat itself is more, it's like timing based stuff instead of just picking and choosing.
It's not just like pick a card. Oh shit, you missed. You know, it's there's more skill to it. It's not just completely RNG. You're not getting like you don't have to grind for anything. You just have to go through the game and play how you like.
Well, I'd say that grinding isn't exclusive to the turn-based RPGs. Like, there's
but
most beat 'em ups
takes so long.
Yeah, but like if you think about a game like Diablo, you know, there's plenty of grinding in a game like Diablo and that kind of style, but that's the opposite of a turn. Yeah, that's the opposite of a turn-based RPG. It's just like I feel like grinding isn't specific to that type, but it's all about how the game is made. And I will agree that a lot of them do require tons of grinding. Um, I just think that the format of the turn-based RPG, you know, I agree that a lot of them, the mechanics of them are the same, are basically the same idea. But the nice thing about it is you can change up some parts of the formula to make it more unique, and then it also gives a lot more freedom for if now this is only if the game takes this, but it gives a lot more freedom for story elements to be more heavily used. You know, like for the focus to be more on the storyline than the gameplay itself, because sometimes that is what some games are more catered to, is the story, more of to be like a visual novel or movie to be experienced that you take part in and you make decisions in rather than a test of one's skill.
I personally love games that break your will and test your skill. And having just the entire game based off of luck, and I have garbage luck, I'm not going to enjoy it.
Yeah. Anthony, just to prove that fact that you love games that are mostly based on skill, can you just rattle off your top 5 games that you've been playing recently?
Of course.
Actually, can I try it? Can I try?
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
Hades, Enter the Gungeon. At least there was quite a while. Games like now you haven't played this in a while, but I know that there was a while where you were playing Dark Souls. All the Dark Souls games a lot.
I played Dark Souls so much that I had on my PC changed all the sound effects and everything. I created a character named John Cena. He had no armor. He just had bone fist. And every single time he'd be invaded, it would play like his theme or whatever. And then I don't think I lost quite frequently.
Of course not.
I just bullied people. I just parried and it was awful. I spent
So-
way too long doing that.
For you at home, Anthony is very, very good at playing video games. Like this man, I genuinely, it is shocking sometimes how good. And I'm not just saying this to toot his horn because he gets it tooted enough. Another one? Now this game isn't necessarily made for being a difficult game, but Beat Saber, you also tend to play that game a lot, and that game is intentionally, you intentionally only play it on Expert Plus.
Of course. I also have been playing a lot of Hollow Knight.
Oh yes.
If anyone is familiar with Hollow Knight, I am trying to 100% the I think it's the Hall of Gods or the God Champions. It's you have to beat every boss 3 different times, and they're harder consecutively. And the third version of it, you can't take damage.
So I understand why you would dislike an RPG where it's the skill-based stuff is not about, you know, in the moment reflex reaction based kind of stuff, but more of what it is it's about memorization and learning how the game and how the world works, you know?
Absolutely. I don't mind a good game that can I can dive into the atmosphere, but it leads back to that point where I just get so frustrated because the luck. It's just so tantalizing and slow.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. I would say, so for me personally, my favorite games growing up, one of my earliest games that I started playing was Shining Force for the Sega Genesis. Is one of my favorite childhood games for me, which is a childhood game of my
entire
which is a childhood game of my father's.
Wait,
And
Chris, how old are you?
I am currently 19, turning 20.
Alright.
So here's the thing. So my childhood games, I played mostly games from my dad's childhood when I was growing up, with some games that were coming up that my dad would play from modern day, because my dad is also a gamer. My dad is a pretty heavy gamer. And so my like favorite systems growing up were the Sega Genesis and the NES and those systems from my dad's childhood. So Shining Force, for those of you who, almost all of you probably who don't know, because I don't think it has that big of a following. It was a turn-based, top-down kind of old-style RPG where you controlled a group of soldiers and each one had its own turn and it could go and fight the enemy soldiers. Just a basic kind of style like that. And the thing I loved about it though was there were so many characters and it went very in depth with the characters and it was a pretty long game. And because of the basic style that the combat had, it took a lot of getting used to the strategy for the game, but the combat was very easy to understand and the mechanics were very easy to understand. So I enjoyed that as a kid. I was able to kind of get into this game without being able to get very far, but still get to know the characters to a good extent and get to enjoy the lovable characters and the enjoyable plot line that was there. Even though it was challenging enough to the point where because I wasn't intelligent enough, because I was a dumbass little shit kid, I couldn't play the game well enough. So I think one of the good appeals for those kind of style RPG games is that in the beginning they're very playable for anyone, but in order to get very far in them, at least for the old ones, you had to learn the game, because especially older games do not hold your hand at all.
I feel you on that, but there are still games that come out more frequently. It's indie games rather than big developer games nowadays that still come out and just destroy you and don't hold your hand. And
That is true. Which
really
that has been a trend recently, especially. That's been a popular trend, especially I think it's because of the success that Dark Souls had originally when it first came out, and everyone was like, "Oh, this is a hard game. This is like the old games. It doesn't hold your hand. It just throws you in it, and it's difficult." And then Dark Souls 2 was made with the intention of being difficult, whereas Dark Souls 1 was just made to be a good game. Which kind of, it was still a good game, Dark Souls 2 was, but it kind of sacrificed some of the integrity, in my opinion. And then they come out with Dark Souls 3, which I very much enjoyed Dark Souls 3. But like those games became so popular, and then a lot of indie games started coming out where they weren't trying to appeal. I think the great thing about indie games is they don't try to appeal to the masses like big AAA studio games do. They try to appeal to more niche segments of the gamer market, such as the ones that love challenge for the sake of challenge, who aren't Jack, for example.
Hey, man.
Although, which I find interesting, since your most played game in recent times, I would say, would be Bennett Foddy, Getting Over It.
Listen, before we started recording, I played Getting Over It.
I usually assume that you do.
It was the 60th time that I've finished the game. And
Today?
My time was 12 minutes.
What's your fastest time? It's 7 minutes?
Fastest time 7 minutes and I think 24-ish seconds, something like that.
Yeah, it's
Now-
like the top 100 or something like that.
I think you said it was a top like 1,500 maybe. I don't know.
Whatever.
It doesn't matter.
Which this baffles me still to this day, because as soon as you get into a game usually and it is really difficult, you very often get very upset and you are prone to rage quitting.
I don't like playing games that I am not good at. I don't find it fun.
Then why did you play Getting Over It?
Because I honestly could not tell you.
That's what I find so interesting.
I cannot explain my logic.
Because I understand why you would play Getting Over It, because I think it's the challenge. It's a game known for being difficult and for causing rage, and you got determined. You got that gamer determination, I will say. We're coming up with the real scientific terms.
I mean,
here,
the first time I beat it, obviously it took me like 14 hours.
Yes. I'm genuinely impressed that you were willing to stick that out, because I know tons of people that as soon as they get into Bennett Foddy and they play for the first 2 hours and they don't make progress, they're like, okay, that was funny at first, but now it's just stupid. Which I don't think is fair, because I love playing. I just downloaded Hades about a day ago, and I've been playing it nonstop. I love Enter the Gungeon, Binding of Isaac. I love roguelike style and games that just are made to kind of kick your ass. Those are games that I love as well. So I enjoy that style, but you have tended to dislike that. When you first started playing Gungeon, you kind of quit pretty early on because of
But that's a game that's
challenge.
supposed to like that's supposed to happen in Into the Gungeon.
Mhm.
So for a little background around people that don't know what that game is, it's a dungeon crawler where if you want like better upgrades, it's very very much luck based. And once you get like late game, it's like too much to like try to like reset. And also that's like it's a testament to your skill. And once you get better at the
Mhm.
game, you don't need these upgrades. Some upgrades are just so broken that like you will,
Mhm.
as long as your hand is not broken by the end of the fucking round, you will beat the game.
Yeah.
But
I wouldn't even know.
you're supposed to beat the game multiple times. What's up, Anthony?
And you have to get used to the game first, and you're supposed to die, because dying, you get items that you can upgrade yourself. So when you try again, because when you die, you have to go all the way back to the beginning, like
It's also
like
got like
other
side effects
roguelikes.
and such as well, which is really
Yeah,
interesting.
which
Um,
it's
oh,
one of those roguelikes that has that part of it, which makes a roguelike game good, in my opinion. Roguelike games that don't have, like, I love Binding of Isaac, but I was playing it recently and I had forgotten that it just doesn't have as much of that building upon itself, that makes the game not easier, but more interesting as time goes on and changes how the game works. Because if the game stays the same game, with random items, but still the same game at its core, then it just becomes boring, in my opinion.
recently, I played Binding of Isaac, and the final boss, I literally stood still, and all the attachments and items that I had killed him for me. I also one-shotted him, and by one shot, I mean one bullet killed him because of how powerful I was. And mind you, the final boss is no joke. Like I have gotten to him and died. It's not an easy boss, but sometimes the cards are just in your favor.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, like, I don't know if Binding of Isaac is as much of a, like, it is a roguelike game, but it's more of, because I think it was supposed to be in the style of old video games, where usually you die, you have to start over from the beginning,
Hmm.
with most old video games.
You
I
can unlock
remember,
different characters.
yeah, you can unlock other characters, but for example, like, I used to play the original Strider all the fucking time on this fucking arcade machine that a friend's dad owned. And that game, you get better at it as you keep playing. It's a side scroller. It's from like fucking 80s or 90s, whatever, and it's made to just fucking. Those games are all made to be fucking challenging as shit, because they're made to take your money. Arcade games were all made to just have you put money in and be pay to win.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Because that's how they made their money, was by you putting in your quarters, quarter after quarter after quarter, because the game was, challenging enough, but also challenging to the point where you thought you could win. But then they would have these final bosses that are just outlandish usually. And I feel like we use that term roguelike nowadays, which that is how all video games used to be. All games, like fucking Super Mario is a roguelike game in a sense, if you think about it. I mean, you have lives, sure, but like, you run out of your lives, you're fucking done.
I hate the fact that you just compared Mario to a roguelike.
I know, I like, everyone's gonna hate that I did that, but
I just want to point out I have no fucking idea what that means.
I was gonna say I don't know a lot.
so
Of this.
roguelike. Oh, for anyone at home, sorry. For anyone at home, the term roguelike in regards to video gaming is, it's a game where you go through, and if you die, you have to start over from the beginning, and you start over all the way from the beginning. Um, and for a lot of the ones nowadays, a lot of the more popular ones, like Into the Gungeon, Hades, they have it where it builds upon itself, where you get things that help you do better as time goes on. I believe that Binding of Isaac is considered a roguelike. I'm pretty sure it is.
It is a roguelike.
Yeah.
There is a
It-
roguelike and a roguelite.
Mhm.
A roguelite is when you die, you still keep some attributes or preservations for the next run.
I see.
Mm.
Hmm.
I did not know that was it.
So
that was a thing.
for a game like Dark Souls, for instance, it would be a roguelite because you keep your items and stuff and you just teleport back or whatever. You lose your souls per se. You can get them back and you lose some progress towards the enemies. Same thing with Mario if you want to put it in that category.
Yeah,
I would
but
consider
I feel like that's broadening the term too much. And even my analogy earlier was broadening the term. I want to say for you hardcore gamers at home that are writing pissed off comments about how I called Mario a roguelike, that was a little bit of hyperbole, for example.
I think I would still categorize Enter the Gungeon as still a roguelike because
Oh, yes.
yeah, you can get different unlocks and stuff. However, you don't start with any benefits. You can get more stuff, but you don't have any benefits.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think yeah, Into the Gungeon is a roguelike for sure. And they're all very. I just enjoy the thing I enjoy about them personally is just the challenge that comes with it, but also you feel like as you get, but it's actually is a skill that you have to train. As you keep doing it more and more, which is similar to another game that is one of Anthony's most commonly played ones, Beat Saber, where that is an actual physical skill that you have to train and get better and better at. But for the other games, it's more of skill with your mouse. I guess that's still a physical skill.
I was just gonna say, when I was younger, I didn't play any story in the traditional sense, like story games. Only games I played were handheld until I was like 10, and then we bought a Wii, and that was mostly all I did. Because for some reason, my parents were very on the sense of like, no, you're not going to play Modern Warfare or whatever, and you're not going to play any like violent video games. All I played when I was younger were DS, fucking Game Boy Advance games, and Wii games, and that's it. And even then, we rented Call of Duty 4 on the Wii like once, and I was like, man, this sucks. This is terrible.
Oh yeah.
I had the
You have
same,
Call of Duty
same
on the Wii?
experience.
Oh, did you not know that, Anthony?
Yes, they did.
Yeah, they
What?
made they're all bad.
Did you aim with the
anyone that yeah.
Nunchuck and remote, yes.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Anyone at home that thinks that any form of Call of Duty or any form of shooter for the Wii was ever a good idea or ever was a good game, just you're wrong. The Wii was not. It was not good enough to do it. It was innovative at the time, but not. No.
I had a
Oh, yeah?
Mortal Kombat game. I had it on the Xbox, but it wasn't technically mine. It was somebody that was living with my family at the time, and it was on the Xbox. It's called Mortal Kombat Armageddon, and I loved it just because of how stupid it was. There was literally a Mario Kart-esque type minigame in Mortal Kombat Armageddon, and that's probably what made me love it so much.
Oh my gosh.
but I once saw it when I was shopping at GameStop, and it was on the Wii, and I'm like, wow, that's crazy. I love that game so much. Let me buy that. And boy, oh boy, was it the worst decision of my life. I also, at the same time, bought Winter Solstice. No, not Winter Solstice. What is it called? It's like 007 something Solstice.
Oh, Quantum of Solace?
Yeah. Thank you. Wow. You can tell.
I was like,
You can tell how fast I pushed that behind my head because I did not want to think about it ever again. I played that game. I beat that game on the Wii, and it was atrocious. It was absolutely horrific. So bad. And the reason why I bought it was because on the Nintendo 64, I played GoldenEye, and I love that game. I still play that game sometimes. I actually have an emulator on the PC for that. But on the freaking Wii, dude, oh my god.
I see the Wii. The Wii, because of so the thing about the Wii is it was chock full of shovelware, which is just games that anyone could put out, and anyone could come up with a game, and Nintendo would just go, yeah, we'll put it out on our Wii. as long as it incorporates the Wii in some way. You know,
Mhm.
as long as
It
it's
was a family
programmed to work
console.
for the Wii. Exactly. But also, like, they did not really have any strict regulations about the quality of the games that they put out. So there was so much just garbage games that came out for that system, because they were just trying to mass produce games for it
Well, there's
because it
always
was such a
garbage
popular.
games for every Nintendo console. Like, if you ever
Yeah.
gone to a retro game store and then looked at the case that has all the Nintendo games,
Oh, that's
there's the case
true.
that holds the good Nintendo games, and then there's the 5 cases that hold the bad Nintendo games.
Uh, oh
It
yeah,
Yeah.
is
like
absolutely uncanny how many
exactly.
repeats and duplicates they have. And
Yes.
like, there's the first one, there's the second one, there's the third one. Why do they have this?
Which I feel like the shame. I feel like it's a shame that we've kind of lost that era where there are so many. Like arguably one could say that there's still plenty of bad games coming out, but there's not these like ridiculously shitty games necessarily. That's something I honestly am very happy about. Like, okay, so there are very many people that were looking so much. They were looking so forward to Cyberpunk 2077. I honestly, I looked up on stuff about it. I thought it looked like a really good game, but I was like, I don't want to get super hyped up about it. And I've purposefully not been doing that for the entire time it was in production. So, I was kind of like, oh, if it's a good game, good. If it's a bad game, it'll be funny to watch the aftermath, which it was. See, my favorite thing about that is it was a AAA. I was talking with a friend, and we basically ended up calling it a AAA Studio Goat Simulator because of how glitchy it was. Part of all the fun that he was having playing the game was just finding bugs and finding glitches and
Yeah.
like that's the thing is I love glitchy and bad games. I've played so many of them in my time because they're just funny. Like, so I was so happy that I think the funniest thing is that this was a 7-year in production AAA studio goat simulator, basically, is what
Oh,
this
yeah.
turned out to be. Which also, that is the most insulting thing I think I could say about it. But that is some of the appeal of the game currently. And it was so bad to the point where they took it off the fucking PlayStation Store. So,
They took it off the PlayStation 4 store, not the PlayStation 5.
okay, that's true.
Yeah, because it
Well,
was
it's like,
basically impossible to run on the PS4.
yeah.
It looked like San Andreas, really.
Oh, jeez.
No, I really was looking forward to Cyberpunk. I personally haven't bought it yet because I assumed that if there's a new game coming out, that it's gonna be garbage.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I typically wait like 8 or so months for it. It's for the updates to come out, for the bug fixes to come out. I did that with Jedi Fallen Order too,
Mhm.
because in the beginning, Jedi Fallen Order, you can literally get what is it called, hard locked in a specific area if you did something without the double jump. Because knowing me, I definitely would have done that. I
Hmm.
I I would have gone to this area, not had the double jump, find a way through, and then not make it back. And if you do that, your save file starts you always on that side, and you can't get any way back. You had to delete your save file in order, and that's like halfway into the game. Like, it's just not worth it. So if you guys are planning on getting a big game, wait a little bit.
Oh
That's all I
yeah.
ask.
Well, I mean, and I feel like people should have been expecting this with like, No Man's Sky, which was also one of the most hyped games I think of recent years. When it came out, it was a garbage game when it came out.
I will
But
never
now it's a
I will
good game.
never forget the impact that
Oh,
the
yeah.
shittiness of that game had on the just general community on online.
Exactly. Like everyone got so upset, which I was upset because I was looking forward to that game so much. I
It sounded
fucking
awesome.
love Space.
Apparently
But
it's
It
amazing
looks
now.
beautiful.
it is great now. I've played it earlier this year, earlier in 2020, and it was so much fun. And I was like, okay. And then if anyone has ever seen The Internet Historian, he's made a video like on it and talking about the history of what they did. And after all the shit, they just cut off contact with the world and just started working on bug fixes and on making the game what they had promised. And it's so much fun. Now, it doesn't have, in my opinion, it doesn't have too long of a lifespan, like too much driving you to get all the way to the end, except for the exploration side of it, like the desire to explore. But if that kind of dies out, there's not too much left to do in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like I played it for a couple weeks, but I didn't beat it because I was kind of like, I'm kind of done with the game now. So I would still say it's not worth the $60 that it's usually going for on like Steam. But if you can get it for less than that, fully, I recommend it. A different case is like Fallout 76, which everyone was super hyped for, and it was a dog shit game. It still is a dog shit game in my opinion.
While we're on the subject of that, do you guys want to share your thoughts on open world games?
Only games that I enjoy are open world games. I fucking hate story games because I'm playing Mario Odyssey right now, and I know this is a terrible example of a story game, but like every once in a while I'll just get stuck in one spot that's like, how does this game think that I'm supposed to understand where the fuck I'm supposed to go? There's no direction, there's no instruction to it. The only like full-on story game I've ever completed was Batman Arkham City, and that's just because I'm a fucking nerd.
Kirby.
I don't consider like a Mario and Kirby and those types of games story games for some reason.
Well, here's the thing. I think your definition of open world is off. That's what I was trying to say.
I know
like,
what open world is. I just wanted to talk about story games for a minute.
I know, but I'd say that Mario Odyssey is a semi-open world. Like part of the appeal of it is it's not strictly story-based. You can choose where you go, and you can choose what you collect and what you don't.
Well, yes, but
Like,
it's
that was part
also
of the thing about
still
it.
it's still linear in the sense that once you're finished with the one spot, you go on to the next thing, and you can go back and explore all of the aspects of it.
And that's what happens in open world games like Skyrim. Complete a dungeon, you can go back to it, but you're done with it.
I think you're
In
I think
Minecraft, you can go back to the Nether and back to the end if you want.
Yeah, exactly. But like, okay, I think that it depends on whether or not they make the world a fully realized world. If it's just open world for the sake of it being an open world, I think that's dumb.
Mm-hmm.
If it's like empty and there's no content in it, there's no personality to the world, there's no reason for the world to be explorable, then you shouldn't make it explorable.
I agree 100%.
Marcus, what were you going to say?
the only open world game that I've played is that I really enjoyed, because that's the struggle with me. Like, I have ADD. I don't like games that like are not stimulating me 24/7, which sucks because I'm missing out on a lot of good shit. But I really like Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild is so goddamn fun. I think it's one of the only open world games that I loved exploring. Like, cause like shit like Skyrim is fun in concept. Like, if you described it to me, I'd be like, I'd be all about it. But like, I played it and I'm like, there's so many options, and like I have no direction, and that there is a direction. Let me be clear, in Skyrim, but there's not. It's too much. It's too expansive for me. I think that is an acquired taste that I have to eventually be okay with, because there's a lot to be liked about Skyrim. But with Breath of the Wild, it's very easy. It's like very clear what you want to do, and what if you go to this place, then you know what you're gonna get. Like the little temples to get more like stamina and to get more like health. Those are very obvious, and you can see them from like a far away. And if you see them from like a distance, and like you don't even know where that shit is, like you have to like figure out how you're going to get there. And then if you can't get there, you like pin it, and then you go there like at a later date. Like that shit I fuck with heavy. It's very easy to understand. You don't need, like, that's one of the cool like Zelda games where like it like the plot is, it doesn't like take the front seat, but it's really good in the idea of like you don't need to know what happened in previous Zelda games. All you got to know is like Ganon is evil. Stop Ganon because he killed all of your friends. That is reason enough to like continue trudging on. I fucking love Breath of the Wild so goddamn much.
Another thing that I think is, I find those kinds of games, I haven't played Breath of the Wild, but I really would love to, because it looks gorgeous also. But like, I'm sorry if you
You would
enjoy.
love it.
I'm sorry if you enjoy Skyrim, but that game is ugly as shit, and I can't fucking play it because it looks disgusting.
I had purchased the 3 Elder Scrolls games, Morrowind, Oblivion, and Skyrim. I also purchased the Fallout games, Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 4, and I thought, wow, I'm really gonna enjoy these games. I'm gonna have a nice little year playing all these games. And I started and booted up each one of these, played them for a couple of hours, immediately got bored out of my ass and stopped them. I regret paying so much money for these games that I don't even play.
I hate
struggle-
Fallout 4.
I struggle more than anything finishing open world games, and I'm a completionist, and I really just cannot, for the life of me, sit there and play the entire game through its entirety. And because there's so much to do, and like I guess you could say that I 100%ed Assassin's Creed 3, 4, and Mario Odyssey, but I wouldn't necessarily call those entirely open world. And by the way, the collectibles in Assassin's Creed games are awful. They're not rewarding.
They're dog shit.
Absolutely stupid. I hate that I put myself through that. I will say, however, in Black Flag, Assassin's Creed Black Flag, the only reason why I enjoyed going around island to island getting everything was because of the sea
Sea
shanties.
shanties, yeah. I was gonna say the only collectible in the Assassin's Creed games that has ever been worth collecting is the sea shanties that you can collect to give yourself more sea shanties, so that as you're collecting the other collectibles, you can listen to new songs as well.
Mhm.
Because that's a game with a fantastic that's such a fantastic idea. That was such a genius idea that they put in there.
If there wasn't sea shanties, I would have closed the game immediately.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't have spent as much time in that game if those sea shanties were there, because I just spent time sailing around listening to the guys sing because it was so good. But I want to say real quick, we in the future could end up recording an entire podcast episode about politics, and this will forever still be our most controversial episode that we'll ever record, because this is just an episode about video games going on the internet.
People are
So-
vicious about video
Yeah.
games.
Oh yeah. So all of you in the comments leaving your hateful comments already, we just want to tell you thank you for
Yeah.
adding to the the
Discourse.
algorithm,
You know what?
because every comment still helps.
You know what? That's actually the perfect segue into listener responses. To
Yeah.
post on our Instagram story. Follow us at CramJamPod on Instagram and Twitter and TikTok. But we put a post up there saying to leave your favorite video games, and we'll tell you if you're wrong or not.
Ooh, yes.
So here's some of the answers. First I've got here is BioShock. I've never played BioShock. I have it I have it installed on my
BioShock.
computer, and I've never opened it.
Wait,
Such
BioShock just
a
the original
good
one?
game.
It just says BioShock.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't played the original, but I know the original's a good one. I've played Infinite. That one's fantastic. So going based on how good Infinite is, I'd say, they're worthy there. They're good.
People who love the first one, for the record, Chris, hate the Infinite because of the fact that it's so different to the first
Oh yeah.
one. But
Uh,
if you play through the Infinite, that's the whole reason. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna make spoilers or anything, but I personally love the entire BioShock series. Going through that game and just listening to the music, the covers, being in that atmosphere, it was so beautiful, and it was actually challenging too. Not because I played on the hardest difficulty and only used a pistol the entire game, because it just made you push yourself to go and be a bad character in some situations, and also go back and just like rethink your life and do these awful things, and also have the challenge of these hard ass enemies. It was so beautiful through and through. Gameplay, development of your character, soundtrack, and design.
So I'm guessing Anthony's is a no.
Yeah, you're wrong.
Um,
BioShock sucks. Anyway, moving
yeah,
on.
but yeah. The overall gist of that is, yeah, we all hate BioShock, so no, fuck you.
Funnily enough, someone actually responded Pokemon Platinum, but they also said Battlefront 2. I wasn't present for the conversation about Pokemon earlier, but I just want to say I hate Pokemon, and if you enjoy those games, you're wrong. They're garbage. I hate them.
Well,
They're boring.
That
They're
being
stupid.
said,
they all
I'm
suck.
going to disagree
No,
with you.
let
Yeah.
me because I fucking that generation of Pokemon I fucking loved.
I
and
don't know
played
which one
every
that
single-
is.
It's
Okay,
Generation
that
4.
one was really really good. And also as a kid, I'm not smart. So I I think for a good 3 months I replayed Pokemon Diamond for so long because I didn't know how to save. I know that it told me to, but I couldn't read. So I did that with Pokemon Gold too, like the original on the Game Boy. Uh,
my gosh.
yeah, I kept replaying it, and I had a blast. So I don't know what that says about me, but it should tell you something about the gameplay because
Yeah.
it has a very riveting story actually, and the soundtrack is really good. Um, I think I yearn for the days where Pokemon was pixel and nothing but
Yes.
pixel. I do not blame anyone for not getting into Pokemon now because it's ugly. I'm sorry, but like I don't like the 3D models. I don't. There are like four exceptions, and it's Piplup, that fucking Apple Pokemon,
Yes,
and
the
then two
Apple
other
Dragon.
ones.
Yeah.
Oh, so cute. I fucking love that guy.
I
But
will say, I will
I
say,
love it.
the one good way they could do the models is the way they did it in the movie they just came out with this past year, where they had, or past year or whatever, where they had good 3D models of the Pokemon that looked good. You know, like, which is more difficult to do on the games because Game Freak's a shitty company.
I agree. Like my love for Nintendo it stops when it starts getting when we start talking corporate because
Oh
Mm.
gosh.
I don't know if I should say this here, but I believe that a better way to engage your consumers is to let them play the games that they want to play. If
Mm-hmm.
you are not
Oh yeah.
making it if you're
Uh,
not making it easy to get it, they're going to emulate it. They don't care about getting arrested because they're probably not going to. And if you don't make it easy, like I appreciate that they put Earthbound, a very beloved JRPG that is so charming. It's
mm-hmm.
like it's
Oh,
what
fantastic.
it's what like influenced Undertale actually. Such a great game. They actually released it on the 3DS, but you had to have a 3DS to get it. I'm pretty sure. So if you had a 2DS, no dice. And
Mm.
the thing is, they only had it on there. Why not bring it to the Switch? I know that they're dealing with maybe a lot, but that is nothing. You have the game done already. Just
Yeah.
give the consumers what they want, or we're going to emulate it. Like it's ludicrous to think that we're like, I don't want to break the law because fuck, we love video games and we're all gonna
Mhm.
die soon. So let us.
And especially because Nintendo has been being such a shit company recently. I don't know if all of you know how shitty Nintendo's been, but I'm sure most of you people at home may have some idea. They have done a lot of shitty things towards their consumers recently. They took all of the Legend of Zelda and Nintendo, like most of the big Nintendo soundtracks off of YouTube. For copyright reasons, so that only they have the ability to put them on the internet, is what the basically kind of what the message they were putting out there is. They ended up canceling a Smash tournament because it was using an emulator. In the middle of the quarantine, when people can't go play video games like Smash, Melee in person together,
Which is so
they ended up
ridiculous.
there's so many dumb things. And here's the thing, if you're a company and you're worried about people illegally pirating your game, making yourself an unlikable company is not going to prevent that. Because now I honestly, I want to pirate more games now because of like how shitty, but just from Nintendo, just because of how shitty
Yeah, it's like
they've
now
been.
I don't want to
Because
pay for your
your
games
games
because you
are
suck.
good. Yeah, your
Yep.
games are good, and I'm gonna play them. But I don't. If I can play them without paying for them, I'm gonna do that because
What
I don't want to pay
actually
you.
here's the thing though, that I actually have the opposite opinion actually. If but
Mhm.
in in the instance where if they because they I think they had Earthbound running at like $20. If they just had it on consoles that are easily accessible, like I said, like they put all those like the good Mario games out, and I paid for it. I paid for the Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and the Super Mario Galaxy, and it was like $60, and it was it was pricey, but I paid for it because the alternative is I have to get a GameCube or emulate it, and get the game, which is like so much money. This
Yeah,
is
those games
such
now are like $200.
exactly. So if you want us to play it legally, just put it on something like that, because I will pay for it. I will easily pay for something that I love because it's a game that I love. I don't enjoy the aspect of emulating. Not really, because sometimes I kind of do. Not saying that I emulate. What are you talking about? That
None of us have ever, even though Anthony
Ever.
said he had before, none of us have ever, because pirating is wrong.
That
Yes.
emulation that I was talking about has been licensed from WarWare, so
There we go.
wow.
All right,
You.
all right, let's move on. Just a couple more user entries. I'm gonna put this one in because I think I've heard about this game, but I also feel like I've never heard of this game. Fable 3.
Ah.
Oh, I liked Fable 3.
Okay, so I beat Fable 3 in one day. It was in the middle of the summer when I was a kid, so I had literally nothing else to do, and I was the only one home all day. So I literally spent the entire day from the moment I woke up till the moment until I went to bed eventually, just playing Fable 3 all the way through. There's a lot of people that love the original Fable game, like
me.
that dislike Fable 3,
I haven't played Fable 3, to be fair. I
or
wanna play
have
Fable 2.
refused to play Fable 3, stuff like that, because they disliked Fable 2. I personally love Fable 3. I think it's a great game because I enjoy its story and its characters. So I think that person's cool.
And finally, we had an overwhelming amount of responses who all said that their favorite game was Undertale.
Yeah, because we have a bunch of gay friends, and I fucking love it.
No, literally one of the answers says Undertale because gay. Again, much like this is the theme of the episode is Jack doesn't play video games. I've never played Undertale.
I
It's not my
have
type of
played.
game.
See,
What?
here's the thing.
It's not my type of game.
Exactly me as well.
Here's the thing, though. The soundtrack for that game is so good that
Oh,
you know,
absolutely.
regardless of the rest of the game, that's already a yes. You know, that I think they all are valid in that. But also, it is definitely, I think this is kind of obvious from the amount of responses we got saying Undertale. It's kind of a mainstream game to have as a favorite game, even though it's entirely an indie game.
What
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
Cuphead? You nerds? I don't know how to
Or
pronounce
Cuphead.
words.
We had
Nope.
we had no Cuphead entries.
We had 0 responses saying Cuphead. So
That's very
what
upsetting.
about Cuphead, Anthony?
Cuphead's great. You guys suck.
It is. No, it is a great game.
It's a good game. You're correct. I love the game, and I also suck at the game.
I think I've played just the first level of it, and I do not remember my opinion.
I think you said this is hard. Fuck this.
That sounds like me.
I spent a month on and off trying to beat the dragon, just on and off, because I just got tired of it. And of when I finally beat it, it was like my first try that day, and I was like, what the fuck just happened? What? Like it was the most mind-blowing thing. That game can give you a high like nothing else just from beating a boss. You just feel like you're tripping off your ass when you win because it's such a rush of adrenaline and dopamine.
Yeah, that's how I feel when I move every 10 feet and getting over it.
I beat that game in less than 80 deaths.
Wow. Anthony's cool, isn't he?
Yeah. Everyone clap at home for how cool Anthony is.
Yeah.
We did it.
Jack,
We
please,
saved the internet.
Jack, please, let me know if you start playing Breath of the Wild, because I think you will have the best time.
I'm
it is
really
such a good game.
as soon as I have enough money to buy Breath of the Wild.
Promise
Yeah,
yourself,
you
though.
just got your Switch though,
Wait.
right?
Wait. Just borrow mine. That ass. Okay.
Jack, you just have to promise yourself, though, that you will not get sucked into it and you will still take care of your body and responsibilities.
Yeah. And
I
also
don't-
play other games with us.
I have known too many people that have lost themselves in that game, and that is one of the reasons why I haven't purchased the game yet, because I know for a damn well fact that I will not stop playing it.
You
Yeah.
will be glued to
You-
your
you
Switch
guys-
until you're done with that game.
You guys will know when I eventually start playing Breath of the Wild because we won't record a podcast for the next 6
Yeah.
months.
When the podcast is suddenly absent or with suddenly one member short, it is because Jack is playing Breath of the Wild. Even if Jack is here, it's because of that.
I'm not paying attention. I think we should move on to surprise segment.
Oh
Absolutely.
yeah.
And I'll be
Now, you
honest,
said you said you were really excited for the surprise
This-
segment.
this is so far my favorite one, and I hope everyone agrees.
I'm excited.
Okay.
This is guess the movie based on the Letterbox review.
What?
Oh, I'm gonna be terrible at this.
I
I
have.
don't see movies. Movies are not my thing at
You
all.
see, here's
I'm
the
the
thing.
opposite of
I cannot wait until the movie episode because movies are my shit. So let's get started.
Let's get
Now,
to it.
some of these are positive reviews. Some of these are very negative reviews. So let's get started. So this review says, if I had to choose between sitting through this entire movie again and jumping into a blender, I would jump into the blender.
We just guess based off of that.
Yeah, I'll give you clues.
All
I'll
right,
give you
what's our
here.
first
Here's
clue?
your first clue. This is a movie musical.
Oh.
Heather's.
La La
Heather's
Land.
is not a movie musical.
The Emoji Movie. I don't like how much that made you laugh, Marcus. I just said the Emoji Movie, and Marcus lost his shit.
Hey Miles,
La La Land.
can you leave for a second? I'm changing. Thanks. All right, let's continue.
I'm leaving
All
that in.
Oh, damn.
All right. Okay. That is La La Land. Good job.
Yay.
Oh, what? What? You don't like La La Land? Die.
No, I
die.
love La La Land. We
He
saw
didn't.
it
He
together.
didn't write the review.
Anthony, fuck
Anthony,
you.
what the fuck
you,
is wrong
Anthony.
with you?
Fuck you.
Come on,
Piece of
man.
shit.
Remember when you went to La La Land and you
Stop!
saw it with your ex-girlfriend and we sat
can't.
next to each other by chance and I was with my ex-girlfriend and then
Stop.
a year later I dated your ex-girlfriend and then you kissed my ex-girlfriend.
Anyway, Anthony really enjoyed La La Land.
One of the only songs I still know how to play fully on piano.
All right. This movie, the review is no train fight. This movie sucks. Your hint is that this
Mario.
movie does not have a train fight.
Mario movie.
Yes,
Is
the Super Mario movie from the 90s.
From like 1995.
Is
Yeah.
it that one Murder on the Express or
Murder on the Orient Express was
Yeah.
gonna be my joke answer because he said it doesn't have a train in it.
You know what? It actually is for Knives Out.
Oh,
I should have guessed Knives Out.
Anthony, you're surprisingly good at this.
Woohoo.
All right, this review is simply King Batch Vine Comp.
Say that again.
King Batch Vine Comp.
Medea goes to jail.
Is it the Vine movie?
I'll give you a hint. It is absolutely nothing like Medea Ghost. It is probably the furthest thing away from that.
Is it a Jake Paul movie?
No,
Is it a
these
good...
are all mainstream films.
Okay.
What?
Get Out.
Nope.
The Emoji Movie.
This is a review for the movie Joker.
Oh wow! If anybody got that, I would have been the Joker, baby.
All right. All right.
Okay.
This review is brilliant. Puts superhero movies on a new level. Everything about this movie screams awesome.
Lego movie.
it seems like a trick.
It does seem like a trick.
What's the worst superhero movie that's come out in recent years?
Oh.
Batman v Superman.
Is it
Nope.
is it the new whatever the Shark Boy and Lava Girl thing is, the new Heroes or whatever it's called?
Nope.
Oh, is
Damn.
it did people like the new Wonder Woman? I don't know.
This is a review for Fantastic Four 2014.
Oh,
Also
wait.
known as Fan Four Stick.
The worst, also known as the worst superhero movie of all time,
Oh,
and
yeah.
the
Can I-
lowest rated one.
The
Can
fact
I?
that I thought of beforehand Fantastic Four is because I forgot that exists because I want to forget it.
Uh-huh.
Can I say something incredibly vulnerable for a second?
I mean, this is going on the internet.
It is going on the internet.
I
Your dignity is at stake.
I remember when I was a kid. If this is the right Fantastic Four movie, I'm thinking
It's not.
of.
If you were a kid,
It's
it
not.
is not. But I
If
actually
you were a kid, it
really,
is not.
I agree. I really enjoyed the Fantastic Four movies as a kid.
Oh,
yes, I
was
did
even,
too.
I wasn't
Silver
even gonna
Surfer was
say
really
that.
good.
What were you
Silver
gonna
Surfer was really
say?
good.
The what that there was a part in the older Fantastic Four movie where the Invisible Woman is naked.
That's in the first scene.
Yeah, no,
No, it isn't.
She's
No, it's not.
She's
It's
invisible.
because she switches with the human flame or something, and then because her power, the powers are switched.
The human
And-
flame.
Shut up! I was so close.
Yeah, and then the Rock
she
dude and
switches powers with
Stretchy
Mr.
Man.
Fire.
Mr. Fire, Rock Dude, and Stretchy Man all come out.
And then she's naked on in the middle of public because like her clothes burn off. And I remember as a kid, I fucking rewind that shit like a million times because I was like, it didn't even show anything. It just showed her.
She's literally
bare back.
invisible.
Yeah, no. She's visible for a second.
Yeah,
and then
it's
she
the
goes.
part-
Oh, I
invisible.
see.
Yeah.
Okay, now I remember. I
Marcus,
understand.
what's the stretchy guy's name?
Mr. Fantastic. Fuck you. Fuck
Damn
you.
it.
What's
I'm
his
not
full
that
name?
stupid.
What's his full name and what's his son's name?
Yeah, what's his address?
Mr. Fantastic Junior.
Okay, I mean,
No,
you
his
got
name
us
is
there.
his name is Reed Richards and his son's name is Franklin.
That's not real.
It is.
Fuck.
Anyway,
No, it's Jeffrey.
this next one says the only statement this film even remotely makes is that Jimmy Fallon deserves the death penalty.
I really hope that Oh wait, Joker. But I really hope that Jimmy Fallon wasn't even in the movie.
What movie has he been in that's mainstream?
Oh, Shazam.
He wasn't in Shazam.
He wasn't. Did you think he played Shazam, Marcus?
You think he played Shazam?
All white
He
people look
looks
the
like
same.
him. Yeah.
What?
No, that is a review for Joker again.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Levi, dog.
All right.
No, I
this
got that
one,
one.
this one is funniest film ever. Adam Sandler at his best.
Uncut Gems. Uncut Gems.
No, it's Big Papa.
That's
No,
not
it's Click.
Marcus, have you ever seen any movie?
Secretly.
How have you
secretly
gotten the
watched-
name wrong for almost every single one?
Thank you, Papa.
If it isn't Uncut Gems, then it's Jack and Jill.
It's Jack
No.
and Jill.
Dunkachino. Bro,
Yeah.
Dunkachino.
Listen, looking through the reviews for Jack and Jill, most of them are just the lyrics to Dunkachino. Okay, this one is I really like this one. Weird movie. The characters say weird words that don't sound like words I heard before, so I didn't even know what was going on. Overrated.
Is it Parasite?
It is.
Is it Parasite?
It's Parasite.
Fuck off. Fine.
I knew it. I knew it. Knew it.
I just
was
like
easy.
the
Exactly
characters
weird
say
word.
words that don't sound like words I've heard before.
How old was this individual who wrote this? Was it ironic or not?
73.
It was probably some fucking Redditor.
Niggas will like read fucking Japanese subtitles for anime, but when they start, when it's a movie about like class, they're like, "Ugh."
Yeah, as soon as it's a movie that about like liberal ideals and it's real life Asian people, they're like, I can't handle this.
Yeah.
Asian people don't look like this. They're 2D.
All right, and this is the last one. Bear with me. Rancid and vile, a rotting carcass, has no true direction and nothing interesting to say. For a comic book movie, it's a nightmare, and as a real film, it's a joke. It would be different if it had a clear drive behind it. Demented as he is, someone like Lars von Trier has unique style, for better or worse. But this thing is a hollow shell. To me, this means nothing, and is nothing, and I couldn't care less.
Joker.
Yeah, it's Joker again.
I hate you. I hate you.
I knew this was gonna be a popular one. I didn't know
I hate you.
which one.
I just want to
okay,
say,
yeah.
I just want to say, I could have done all of these as Joker reviews.
You should have.
They're
Yeah, you
all
should have done,
so
like-
good.
You should have done like all of them Joker and then one like Cats review.
I would never have gotten the Cats review because I forgot it was a movie.
I would have gotten the Cats review because I've read the Cats reviews plenty. Because those are just anyone at home. If you want a good laugh, just read the Cats reviews.
Oh, it's like
They're
a
just-
popularity contest on Cats
Oh,
reviews.
exactly. It's just people trying to be funny because everyone knows the movie's bad. And so everyone's going there to read funny reviews. So all the reviewers are just trying to be funny. So there's some pretty funny roasts in there. It's a good time.
I think my favorite Letterboxd review of the Joker is "This is what happened to my buddy Eric one time."
Yeah, this happened to my buddy Eric one time. That's like the second highest like rated one. Also, I'm pretty sure it's like a 5-star review. Alrighty. Well, that concludes the video game episode.
Yeah.
Let us
We'll
know.
probably talk more about video games in the future. But
Oh, for sure. This is only part 1, baby.
oh yeah.
Maybe.
But
We still haven't
yeah,
brought up
let us
Shaq Fu.
leave a comment if you enjoy us talking about just like big general topics, and
Yeah,
we'll do more.
Leave a comment. Leave a comment if you guys like Shaq Fu.
Yeah, leave a comment telling us your favorite video game is Shaq Fu. And
I want to
yeah,
see every comment just saying my favorite video game is Shaq Fu. If I don't, I will be very upset. And Jack
leave-
will
Your
cry.
comment will be deleted, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Leak a like if you want to see Miles barge in without knocking.
Yeah, everyone leave a like for Miles barging in without knocking. And maybe we'll get him on the podcast sometime.
oh yeah,
But only if he barges in without knocking again, and then we'll just hold him hostage
We'll
and
just keep
force
him.
to be on our
Yeah.
on the podcast.
every once in a while we'll do a segment where we just interview whoever walks in on Marcus. All right, this has been Cram Jam. Thank you guys for listening. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, and all other places at Cram Jam Pod. Please like and subscribe. And yeah, we'll see you guys next week.
Hit that bell.
All right, suck my cock and die.
Bye.
Family friendly.
That's the end. That's the end of the episode. That's the end.